Hi, I'm Ava.
And I'm Katie.
And we just went on the Carnival Celebration Cruise, and we're vegan, so we were very excited. They had just launched some brand new vegan menus for the main dining rooms. So we just went on a 6-day cruise. We left from Miami, and then we went to Grand Turk and the Dominican Republic and the Bahamas. So we'll talk about what we ate in the main dining room, what we had for breakfast and dinner, as well as restaurants like Chibang and Cucina del Capitano, and also some other just like other places we ate, like the Lido Deck Buffet and Blueiguana and stuff like that.
And Miami Slice Pizza.
Yes, in Miami Slice. So before we boarded the boat, we actually stayed one night in Hollywood, Florida, and we had breakfast there before sailing away, and we DoorDashed Pura Vida Cafe to our hotel. We stayed at the Riptide Hotel and DoorDashed there, and we had some delicious avocado toast, vegan and gluten-free banana bread, and acai bowl. It was the PB Lover acai bowl. So what did you think of that?
I thought it was all delicious. It came pretty quickly, I think a half an hour, so we were able to get on our bus to take us to the port of Miami. So I highly recommend that if you're in the area.
Really good food, lots of options, and they had a Mother's Day deal because it was Mother's Day that day, so we actually got buy one, get one avocado toast, which was a bonus. So our first dinner on the boat, we ate in the main dining room, and automatically right off the bat, there were just like so many fun options for us to choose from, so I'll put up the menu here. Both of us had for an appetizer the vegetable strudel. I'll go first. So I thought that this was pretty good, but the dough was like really raw. So I wish it was like crispier, I guess. But the veggies inside were really good. I just don't think it was like actually cooked the way they wanted it to be. So I gave it a 5 out of 10.
Yeah, I agree. Definitely could have used a little more time. I don't know, deep fry or just cooked in the oven. But it was good. It was really nice that we had probably 5 different appetizers, 5 different main dishes, and then probably 3 desserts to choose from for every meal. And you could order multiple. So I got the vegetable strudel and the Caesar salad.
Me too.
And I really appreciated the Caesar salad. It's something that you don't get very often as a vegan. Once in a while you can find Caesar dressing if you make your own. And I thought I actually got the Caesar salad almost every night. I thought it was really good.
I think the dressing was really good, but my one thing with it was that the croutons were like really soft. It was almost like they were soggy. So they must have had to use a different type of crouton to be vegan. And I didn't love the croutons, but I liked the dressing a lot. So I gave it a 7 out of 10. What would you give it?
I think an 8 out of 10. One other tip too is sometimes you're like, oh, is this really vegan? And it helped. We were with a very large group. We cruised with 19 people, and you could often the regular menu and the vegan menu had similar or the same dish, but so things looked a little different. So it kind of reassured us. There were a few times, and we'll talk about as we go, that I'm pretty sure we got the regular version and the vegan version. Sometimes we knew, and sometimes we didn't.
The Caesar salad, for sure, I would have thought maybe the dressing, like I would have been a little skeptical, but I feel pretty confident that the Caesar salad was always vegan.
Yeah.
And then my dad also got the shrimp cocktail, the vegan shrimp cocktail, and we heard from another video that people were raving about the shrimp. He didn't love it, but he does eat real shrimp sometimes too. I tried the vegan shrimp, and I agreed with him that it wasn't like super flavorful, and it almost tasted like a mozzarella stick, like the consistency of it, which was kind of weird. But what did you think of that?
I thought it was okay. I don't really like shrimp in general, so I definitely probably wouldn't order it. And unfortunately, he ordered that for his appetizer and his main meal this shrimp. Although the main meal was deep fried.
Yeah, it was the Szechuan shrimp that he got, the vegan Szechuan shrimp, and it was the pasta, like the noodles were really good. But again, the shrimp he didn't love.
So he was not in love with the shrimp, no.
And then for our main, we got the Indian vegetarian, which we knew going in. We knew that was going to be on the menu, and we thought for sure we'd probably get it a lot because we love Indian food. And it was 10 out of 10. I loved it that first night. It was kind of one dish of like veggies and one dish of eggplant. The rice was delicious. It came with some like crispy things to dip, and it was super delicious. And you'll see we ordered that a lot because it was just like 10 out of 10 every night.
And it is a little different every night, so we can tell about the different ones. but this one was really, really good.
Yes, it was really good.
We were very impressed with Indian food.
And then for dessert, my dad and I both got the cheesecake, which we also saw mixed reviews of online, but I thought it was very good. I didn't think the texture was too weird or gelatin-y. I thought it was pretty good. It was really rich, and I wish there was maybe more strawberry on top to kind of cut through the richness of like the cheesecake part of it. I gave it a 7.5 out of 10 just because I'm not normally a cheesecake person anyway, but I was pretty impressed with what the cruise ship offered. On Monday, our first day at sea, both of us ordered the huevos rancheros for breakfast in the main dining room. I loved this. I thought it was a 10 out of 10. I'm a big like Mexican style breakfast person. So it was like a flour tortilla with refried beans on it, avocado, egg. We were like pretty darn sure that it was just egg that they were using because it scrambled up just like eggs. It was like kind of like
in pico.
Yes, in pico
on the top.
It was like an open faced breakfast burrito, which was really, really good.
Yeah, it was delicious. And I do think I confirmed that they're using just eggs, so that was pretty reassuring and and really delicious.
The amount of just egg that they were giving us on some of these, it was like $5 worth of just egg.
Yeah, per person.
It was pretty fabulous.
A lot of eggs. So I'm curious if they have just egg in giant containers in the kitchen. We don't know, but overall, really good. We'd never had that dish before, and I think we'll definitely try to be making that at home in the future. So, and
my boyfriend did say it was pretty different from like a traditional huevos rancheros. He said normally it has like chicken on it or something like that, and also like on the menu it says it's a corn tortilla, but actually both times we got it was a flour tortilla. But I didn't mind. It was perfect the way that they served it to me.
Yeah, and I think several times the menu, when the food came out, it was not always exactly as described on the menu. So it kind of felt like, well, maybe they didn't have this item, or but overall, pretty good. Yeah,
pretty good. We also ordered the brunch potatoes with that, which were like potatoes, and they were very well seasoned, almost in like a, what would you describe it, like a red
tomatoey
sauce,
like
a tomatoey sauce, and they had like onions and peppers in them.
Really good. Yeah,
super good. And my dad got the biscuits and gravy, which they were served, and we were very underwhelmed by what they looked like because it was kind of that like sliced cheese melted on top of these like really small biscuits, but we were more like pleasantly surprised with the taste than we thought we would be. Maybe like the biscuits were kind of dry, but with the gravy they were pretty good. It was like a cream of mushroom gravy that they were served with.
Right, and they were sweet, which I don't think that's typical for biscuits and gravy. It's not something we ever eat. So I think overall he liked it, but
it was like okay.
It wasn't great. Yeah.
And he also got the omelet, which he said was 10 out of 10, and that was also with just egg. So I guess we would recommend that. So often for lunch we would go to Blueiguana, or I would go to Blueiguana, and they did you could do tacos, you could do burritos or burrito bowl, and I'm a big burrito bowl person. So they had rice and beans, grilled veggies, pico, lettuce, onion, tomato, a whole salsa bar of things, guacamole. Really delicious. I know there was some skepticism on whether like rice and beans were vegan, but I went ahead with it, so do that to your own.
One thing that was odd was there were no chips. I thought that was a little strange. I think maybe they were trying to not attract birds, plus it was, by the pool, so maybe they want chips in the pool. But it was really good. I did the burrito. If I would have went again, I probably would have done the bowl.
So Monday, I ate in the main dining room, and it was elegant night. For the appetizer, I had the linguine Alfredo. It said it was going to be served with vegan chicken, but there was no vegan chicken on it, and I'm definitely not convinced that the sauce was vegan. It definitely looked exactly like the other people who ordered it on my tables did. So, it was good, but I'm not sure it was vegan. So I gave that one a 6 out of 10. And then for my entree, I ordered the tofu steak, which had really good barbecue sauce on it. There was a Hasselback potato on the side, but again, I was not convinced that the cheese on the Hasselback potato was vegan. So this one was kind of a miss for me, but it was okay. I enjoyed the tofu steak though. I think personally I would have cooked it a little longer because I kind of like a little more of a crispy tofu, but 7 out of 10. I would give that one a 7 out of 10.
I do, it's harder to enjoy your meal if you're feeling uncertain about whether or not it's really vegan.
And I think other than this night, I think pretty much everything else I was very confident was vegan. It was this night, for some reason, just there were two things I was not really so sure about. But this night I also did order the Indian vegetarian, which was a 10 out of 10. I thought it was so good. It was a tofu one, and I'm a big tofu fan, so I really liked that, and I thought the sauce was delicious for these as well. And for dessert, I had the mango sorbet, which I loved. It's like 10 out of 10. I thought that was great. So then my parents went to Chibang for dinner. So you want to talk about what you had there?
Yep. So this is a Mexican/Asian restaurant, and you can order, you can mix and match. To me, that felt really weird. I will also say that you can also order, when you go to these specialty restaurants, you can also order off the main dining room menu.
Yeah.
So my husband did that accidentally, and so put his order in, then realized that they also had vegan dishes at the restaurant, and then ordered from the restaurant as well, and then ended up with like 4 entrees that day or something crazy. So, for my appetizer, I did the spring rolls, which I think were similar to the ones we got in the main dining room. They were very good. I got the Sichuan tofu, and like Ava said, the tofu was very like a silken tofu, almost like uncooked. So, and at our house, we always kind of bake them up or air fry our tofu, so that was different. The sauce was very good. It was spicy, but it came with rice, and I did order a side of the broccoli, and I just put that all in together, made a bowl. So overall, it was super, super good.
And then Tuesday, we did breakfast in the main dining room again, but this was a port day, so it had a different menu, which I'll put up here. Both of us, we ordered the same thing. We got the broken egg sandwich, which was really similar to kind of what we make at home with just egg and bacon and stuff like that. And it was delicious. It was really greasy on the outside, which is kind of like
the bread.
Yeah, the bread was really greasy. I think they did like butter or whatever on it. But like other than that, I thought it was really, really good. It had egg, and I bet chow cheese, if I had to guess, like a melted like chow cheese, and then like really crispy bacon, which I think was light life.
You think it was like light life bacon? So it does seem like, because we watched a few videos before we went, and they were using some kind of orange cheese that people did not like at all. So they have changed their cheese game, which I think for the better. So I'm hoping they're listening, Carnival's listening and getting some feedback and making changes.
For sure.
So I ordered the broken egg sandwich with the avocado toast because I really thought it needed. So I used my avocado toast in the sandwich, like half the avocado toast and half the broken egg sandwich. But yeah, again, it was just egg. It was really good.
And I didn't love the avocado toast. I would give the broken egg sandwich like a 9 out of 10. The avocado toast, I would give it like maybe a 5 or a 6 out of 10 because I'm kind of picky with my avocado, and it definitely tasted like fake avocado. It was not like fresh.
Maybe preserved.
Yeah, preserved, which of course, we're on a cruise ship, right?
Yeah.
But it was not my best avocado toast. I did not order that again. But it was also topped with egg, which was weird because that was not listed on the menu.
Avocado toast was,
So I
got that. Because that's the day we were like, this is like $10 worth of just egg on it. But I didn't notice that the avocado tasted funny, but I put it with my sandwich, so I had so many other flavors that I thought it was delicious.
And we were back in the main dining room for dinner. So we got the spaghetti carbonara for an appetizer. It was not good. It was like flavorless. It was kind of like a creamy sauce, which was good. And they did, I think for you guys, they didn't put the bacon in it, but I did have something pink in mine.
It was supposed to have bacon.
Yeah.
What would have been good is if they would have used the light life bacon from breakfast crumbled in it. That would have been better, but like you had to put salt and pepper.
Yeah, there was like no flavor to it, so I dumped a bunch of salt and pepper on it. And then I also got the Hawaiian poke bowl, which was okay. I was not a huge fan of the salmon, and I wasn't convinced the sauce was vegan just because it reminded me of like a creamy sauce that typically goes in a poke bowl, but I don't know that for sure.
The salmon was definitely vegan though.
The salmon was, but it was kind of weird. It was like a cubed pink.
It tasted like you're eating a fruit almost.
Yeah.
It had a fruit consistency.
I liked the pineapple in it. It was good. It was like definitely a small portion, which was nice for an appetizer.
Yeah.
So I would give that like a 6 out of 10.
Your dad got that as well and was not super impressed. So.
Oh, and I'd give the spaghetti carbonara like a 5 out of 10. So not great appetizers that day. But we got the Indian vegetarian again for a main, and it was super good. I'm not a huge fan of mushrooms, but they were still pretty tasty, so that's saying something. And the rice was super good. It had like some veggies in it, which was nice. I liked that.
Yep, so I got the Indian vegetarian as well and had to like convince my husband to get the eggplant parmesan, and then I wish I would have got the eggplant parmesan because it was delicious. we've had it in Florence, Italy, and this was just as good. So I wish they would have had it another night because I was like, oh, I wish I would have had more of that. So, but also the Indian vegetarian was super good.
And then mango sorbet, again, for dessert, which was delicious. And then Wednesday was another port day, and we had to be up really early for an excursion. So we actually went up to the Lido Deck buffet and had breakfast there. And I thought that was okay. However, they don't label anything as like vegan or vegetarian there. So I got bread and peanut butter, which I don't know if there was a toaster. I didn't see one, but I just spread.
Everything was lightly toasted, wasn't it?
I don't know.
The bagels were.
Okay. Yeah. I spread the peanut butter on the bread, and then they had oatmeal on the buffet, but I wasn't 100% sure that was vegan. And then they had hash browns, which I enjoyed, but I definitely preferred the main dining room for breakfast just because it's going to be on the vegan menu, it's going to be vegan, you're going to be walking up and getting. So, yeah, what did you think?
I was never impressed with the buffet situation, and it was also kind of like a forced early breakfast, so I wasn't super hungry, but I did find a bagel, and they had peanut butter nicely swirled in a little
it was cute.
It was cute. And then they had different kinds of jelly and jam, so I just did peanut butter and jelly on a bagel. We did have apples and bananas and some melon out, which was nice.
Yeah.
I never did find the oatmeal. I guess I wasn't.
It was right on the end of the buffet line. Yeah. So.
And I have heard that you can get soy milk if you ask.
Right.
But I didn't even see anyone to ask, so I'm not sure that, how that process. And we were kind of in a hurry when we had to eat there, so and I think your dad got the potatoes several days as well. So and there were options, and there were lots of pastries, but I'm sure they were not vegan, like cinnamon rolls, muffins. They probably had eggs in them, but
however, this was also mentioned in some other videos. But there is kind of a pedestal stand thing that says something about your best friend for dietary restrictions or something, and I never saw a person stationed there, but I think that's where you're supposed to go if you have questions about what's out or if you want them to bring you something else. So
that's helpful. I never even noticed that. But I wasn't there a lot.
So then lunch that day, we were actually in the Dominican Republic, and we did a catamaran out, and we did some snorkeling. And the catamaran, this excursion, they provided lunch for us, and we were like, we have no idea what we're going to get for lunch. But it was kind of a build-your-own sandwich bar, and they had a pasta salad that I'm pretty confident was vegan, so that was kind of a nice bonus there.
Yeah, and so like the make-your-own sandwich, we made a veggie sandwich and just put mustard on it. It was delicious. There was a pasta salad. It was a Carnival excursion. We highly recommend it. It was the deluxe catamaran with snorkeling. It was a great excursion. So if you're looking for a good excursion, that was a good one.
Super fun.
And there's some vegan food on there. And then they had some good Dominican Republic rum.
Yes, drinks were included. We had rum and Sprite, rum and Coke.
And rum and Coke, so highly recommend. That's a good one.
Then for dinner that night, I went to Cucina del Capitano, and I actually just ordered from the main dining room menu. There was some stuff that looked good on the main menu, and she went there, so she'll talk about that. But I ordered from the main dining room, and I got the Caesar salad, again, which was pretty good. Same thing with the croutons, they were soft again. But then I got the vegan chicken parmesan, which I would give like a 6 out of 10. It was like the chicken was kind of dry. It was definitely not the best vegan chicken I've had. And I've had some vegan chicken, so it was okay. And they just had like that melted cheese on top. So I was kind of unimpressed with that. But of course, I got the Indian vegetarian as well. And that was a 10 out of 10. I was almost too full to finish it, but I did because it was that good. And then I got the almond pear cake for dessert, which I did not like at all, which is disappointing because someone else on YouTube said it was like their favorite dessert, so I was so excited to try it. I would give it like a 4 out of 10. It was like kind of dry and it was cold, which I thought it should be warm. So then my mom ate in the main dining room. So what did you have?
So we did the Caesar salad again, and we did the stuffed mushroom appetizer. This was definitely vegan. People at our table got the regular version, and it looked a little different. I thought this was really good if you like mushrooms. Definitely good. It had an interesting like green sauce it was sitting in, which was delicious. And then for dinner, I also did the Indian vegetarian. Very good. And then I had the almond pear cake and had a different experience. I think mine was warm, and I thought it was really good. I don't really like super sweet things, and this was like just kind of mildly sweet with a little pear on the top. It was my kind of dessert. You didn't even need the whole thing, like a couple bites. So I would have given it like a 7, maybe a 6 out of 10. It was not as bad as Ava's experience, I don't think.
I was really disappointed, actually, because I love fruity desserts. Like, that should have been right up my alley.
Right.
But so on Thursday, we ate in the main dining room again for breakfast, and pretty much got the same things as before. I got the huevos rancheros again with the hash browns and brunch potatoes. So 10 out of 10. Loved that.
Yeah. You know what? Actually, that day, I think I maybe just got like a deconstructed sandwich and made my own sandwich. So I think I ordered the bacon, avocado toast, and the just egg, I think.
Oh, nice.
That day. And with the hash browns, because I had hash browns that day.
Yeah.
So, which was, again, kind of similar to what we had before.
But really good breakfast options. Like, if you like the vegan breakfast substitutes, like the just egg and stuff, super impressive. It was really, really good. So for dinner, we went back to the main dining room again. I had for an appetizer the spring rolls, which I thought were just fine. They were like regular spring rolls, kind of tasted like what we get from the freezer aisle of Costco, if I'm being honest. Yeah. But I like spring rolls, so I would give them like a 7 out of 10.
Same. Yep.
And then we both got the vegetable lasagna for our entree, which I really liked. I would give it like a 10 out of 10. It was so it was like a vegetable lasagna with maybe like eggplant. What else was in it? I don't know. And then there was like almost a ricotta-like thing inside. Right. I really liked it.
I thought it was a little bit on the sweet side, which is not something I usually like with dinner.
Like the tomato sauce, you think?
Yeah, like was a little bit too sweet for me, but overall it was super good. It was huge, a huge portion, like I couldn't eat it all. So yeah, I would probably give it an 8 out of 10.
And then we were very excited for this for dessert. We both got the creme brulee, and it was very disappointing. It was, so we both remember having creme brulee before we were vegan, and this was just not it. It was kind of like a really thick sugar layer on top, like almost
too thick.
Way too thick. It was hard, like hard sugar, but way too thick. And it was kind of like a strange liquidy jelly inside. And just like super insanely sweet. I could not even eat more than a bite of it. So yeah, really not good.
Right. So I was served a regular creme brulee, and my husband was served the vegan one. And so I knew, like, I took like a little bite, and I'm like, it's not too bad. But again, the sugar was way too thick.
Yeah, even on the regular one.
But then once he dug into his, we were like, the one I had is definitely not vegan. And yeah, it was just not good.
So Friday was our last day on the ship, and it was another port day when we were in the Bahamas. So we did, again, the express port breakfast in the main dining room, and we got the broken egg sandwich again. Again, I thought the outside was kind of greasy, kind of made your hands kind of gross when you ate it. And we also got the sausage, or my dad got the sausage, and we were really questioning whether or not it was vegan. My boyfriend did confirm that it was. He tasted it, and he knew right away that it was vegan instead of real sausage, but it was good. I'm not a huge sausage fan, I don't think, it was just kind of meh. But then in the Bahamas, this is just like kind of a bonus, we didn't do an excursion, but we did go to a rum distillery, which was super fun. And right next door to the rum distillery was a restaurant called the Art District Lounge, which unfortunately I think is closing soon, so I don't think it's going to be somewhere that you guys can go to. But we did have a really great vegan lunch there. They had vegan appetizers, vegan mains, and all that stuff. We got the tofu curry, which came with a bunch of rice, and it was kind of like a silken tofu in a curry sauce, which was delicious. And we also got the buffalo chickpea dip, which was kind of like a hummus. Really good. I didn't think it was super buffalo-y, which is good because honestly I don't really like buffalo, but
yeah, really good. And it was nice. It was right next door to the John Watling's Rum Distillery, which is another, we walked there on our own, but it was a great tour, an old plantation house that a pirate used to own, and they do a great free tour there, free pina colada samples, and then you can go buy a large pina colada because it was very warm, so it was the perfect way to cool off, and they could accommodate a large group. All 19 of us went there.
And then we were back on the boat for dinner, and we actually split up. So I went to Chibang for dinner, which was the Mexican-Chinese not fusion place. It was like Mexican and Chinese menus. And once again, I decided to just order from the main dining room menu because I heard from her that she didn't love the tofu dish. So I thought I would go with, for my final dinner on the boat, kind of an extravagant main dining room. thing. And this was actually the first night that they at this restaurant said you can't order from the main dining room here, but the waiter offered to go and check with the chef, and so he checked and they said it's totally fine, you can order from the main dining room, which I knew I could because my dad did from the same restaurant, but they said it might take a little bit. So I noticed what happened was my appetizer was a little behind everyone else's, but I watched them bring like all of my food that I ordered from the main dining room all at once. So I got the appetizer once everyone else was finishing up their appetizers, but then from then on they had all my food, so I got to eat with everyone else. How it works is you go into the app and you can see the menu for any of these restaurants, and if you swipe from right to left, you can find the vegan menu there for any night in the main dining room and any of these Chibang or Cucina restaurants. So super easy to find, and it's all right there in the app. So anyway, for Friday dinner, I went to Chibang with my friends, and I got the minestrone off of the main dining room menu, and I thought this was super good. It was unlike other minestrone soups I've had before, because it had lentils in it, which I really liked, so I rated that a 9 out of 10. And then I also got the fried tomato as an appetizer, which I kind of expected to be a green tomato, but it actually wasn't. It came with kind of like a white tangy sauce, which was good. I also no idea what that was, but yeah, I enjoyed the fried tomato, and I gave it like an 8 out of 10. And then for my main, I ordered the enchiladas, which I loved. I thought like 10 out of 10. I thought they were fabulous. It did list on the menu that it would be corn tortillas, but it was flour tortillas, but that's okay. I kind of liked it that way. The cheese was good and melty on top. Maybe the presentation wasn't like as good because of that, like melted sliced cheese, but honestly, I thought it was really good. And the black beans inside were really well seasoned and delicious. So there was also a tasty green sauce that was poured over it. I don't know, I really liked it all. I thought this was like a 10 out of 10 option. And then I also had the Indian vegetarian on Friday night as well. Again, really delicious, like always for this whole trip. It wasn't my favorite Indian of the trip, but I really liked the veggies in it, and I rated this one an 8 out of 10. And then for dessert, I got the passion fruit parfait, which did not have whipped cream on it like it said it was going to. I liked the vegan yogurt that was used, but it was kind of thick and like less smooth, like maybe almost chunky, which is not a good word, but it wasn't bad. It was pretty good. I thought that the passion fruit chunks were kind of weird in it, like they were kind of solid, which was strange. So it was not my favorite dessert of the trip, but it was okay, I thought. Yeah, I gave it like a 5 out of 10.
The parents that night went to, how do you say that?
Cucina del Capitano.
Cucina del Capitano. And I also had the minestrone soup, which I thought was delicious. Very good, lots of vegetables. And then I got the pasta pomodoro, which I think it was like a penne pasta. It could have had more sauce.
It was like a red sauce on it.
Yeah, and then they have like an appetizer. It's like a breaded broccoli and cauliflower, and I was just going to add that in because we usually do vegetables with our pasta. And then, so when I got it and I ordered it vegan, it came out just steamed, which I was totally fine with. But other people at our table got the breaded one. It looked really good, but clearly they were using some kind of butter or something to do that, or egg maybe. Yeah.
So one thing we haven't mentioned yet also is like how we ordered. So each time it was a little bit different in the main dining room. So the first night that we were there, they asked my table if any of us had any dietary restrictions. So we had someone at the table who had some allergies, and then I said I'm vegan. So they noted that, and I could tell on their, if they had like a digital screen, they had our pictures on there, and they would always associate our pictures with what we ordered. But sometimes they ordered on just like a notepad, so I'm not sure.
Right.
But every time I did order, after that first time, they never asked again about dietary restrictions, but I would always say I'm ordering from the vegan menu, and then I would always specify too, like I'm ordering the vegan chicken parmesan. But I think that when if it's on the digital screen, they can switch it over to the vegan menu, and then they'll make sure they're putting in the vegan options. But yeah, I was just always very clear about what I was ordering.
We'd heard a few times like you have to order the night before. We never had to do that. We were told just a few times like it might take a little longer, and there was one day that we were kind of quite delayed at breakfast, but luckily it was a sea day, so it wasn't a big deal. But it did take us, I don't know, maybe an hour and a half to get our breakfast, but that was not the typical situation.
I never had that.
Yeah. But yeah, overall, everyone was very friendly. They seemed knowledgeable about, you know,
They
what the
did.
vegan menu was. There were no questions, so.
One restaurant we did not mention is Malibu Slice.
Oh, right, yes.
And they have vegan cheese, which is fabulous. So I would just order, you have to wait in the line, and then you get up there and you can order like the margarita pizza with vegan cheese, and it was honestly super good. My boyfriend said it was like the most real looking vegan cheese pizza he's ever seen. Because the cheese got like super melty and it was delicious.
They make it fresh right there, like in one of the wood fire stoves. Yeah. I did ask in 2 separate ways if they could add veggies, and the answer is no. Like, so it's pretty much just a vegan cheese pizza. But there are sometimes kind of like weird in between times where no restaurants are open.
So it's a good option.
Yeah, it was a good option, and they're open till like 4 a.m.
Yeah.
So,
and they did have like Italian seasoning and like red pepper flakes you can add to just jazz it up.
I think they need to work on their presentation a little bit. Like any other restaurant where I've gotten creme brulee, there's like a little slice of berry. It kind of knocks down that sweetness. A little slice of strawberry, some kind of drizzle. There almost always there was no
garnish.
Like things could have looked a lot prettier, and I think that, you know, that makes food taste a little better when they looked pretty. So I think that's something they could, you know, just a little drizzle here, a little something. It kind of just felt like they were throwing food on a plate and away they go. So I think just taking that little extra moment. The other big tip I have is if they could just put like a V sticker or like a little toothpick that says vegan. We've eaten at restaurants before, because it is super hard to enjoy your food if you're constantly questioning the whole time, is this really vegan? Did I get the vegan meal? If we weren't with a large group of people ordering off the regular menu,
questioning it all the time. Yeah.
So I think that is like an extra step Carnival could take as well, is just so that there's some, you know, it doesn't have to be a big thing, a big expense, and we don't want you to have to waste something.
Just a little toothpick flag or something that has, it's a green or it has a V on it. Something like that would just kind of put minds at ease.
Yeah, because I know there were a few times when we definitely did not receive the vegan dish. And I think with that creme brulee, especially on the outside, so the sugar top looked exactly the same on all of them. So I think it's probably easy to mess that up. So another thing we were super impressed with was how sustainable everything was on the ship. Like there were no plastic dishes anywhere. Everything was reused. There was glass or like a hard plastic that you know, that they washed. There were no paper napkins. They were all
everything was reusable.
Cloth.
It was fantastic.
No straws. They had like these kind of sugary candy straws, which I think by the end of the time I'm like, just no straw. But yeah, it was very impressive. I think it makes a lot of sense. We hadn't cruised in like 20 years, and I was very impressed with how beautiful the ship was.
So then Saturday was our final morning on the ship. So I did the Lido breakfast again, the buffet breakfast, which again, I kind of had the same stuff as before. It was like just okay. And then we got off the ship in Miami and we did an excursion there. Top 10 best of Miami bus tour excursion, which was really fun. We went through Ocean Drive and we got to see some really cool buildings there. And then we actually stopped in Little Havana. And we went to a restaurant there, and we thought we just wouldn't be able to order anything because we looked at the menu. There wasn't anything, but our tour guide was very helpful, and he actually was able to get us some rice and beans and fried plantains, which was delicious. We had a really great time there, ate some good food, and had some delicious mojitos as well.
Yeah. And again, that was a Carnival excursion, and it took us right from the tour back to Fort Lauderdale Airport. So we highly recommend. Our tour guide was amazing.
Yes, he was great.
Really good food. We sampled Cuban coffee, and also we all had mojitos.
Yes.
At 10:30 a.m. So,
yeah, we're very grateful that Carnival has these options, and we hope to continue to see their progress and see them grow in offering more options and continuing to improve what they do offer.